everybody, and welcome back to another The Dark Descent into Horror. As always, I am your host, Amanda, and with me is the other host.
Yeah, this guy.
Feel the hatred. One of these days, you will say your name. I swear to God, you will. Today, we're celebrating the day after Friday the 13th. But with that, has anybody ever noticed something really funky about this? Even though Friday the 13th is over, have you ever noticed that July, August, September, October, November actually spell out Jason? Maybe he's more important than you all think.
You would notice as well that it's May, not June, so that means it's also JJ Voorhees.
He's special. What do you want from him? But today we picked 13 of our favorite kills. No particular order. You may have favorites of your own that you may enjoy, but we just happen to like these. One of them is my personal favorite, which will be the last one that we do, just because I just remember it so bluntly as a kid that I laughed my little ass off back when I was a little kid. But to me, and Friday the 13th, the franchise is very impactful on the horror slasher genre. You know, it's just one of those things that it's just ingrained in pulp culture and in people's minds. It really helped shape the horror genre, and when a lot of people think of the horror slasher movies, a lot of them either think of Friday the 13th, and if not by name, they definitely envision somebody who looks like Jason Voorhees, a big ass fucking killer wearing a mask, slaughtering a bunch of horny half naked teens across either a camp or in a neighborhood or something. But there's been some very interesting facts about Friday the 13th. There's been a Friday the 13th movie released out of 8 out of the 10 80s every year. 8 out of 10 of the 80s, there's been a Friday the 13th movie, which shows how impactful it was for that generation. And during this time, that's when the horror slash genre was actually becoming more popular within mainstream pop culture. And with it becoming more popular, within the Friday the 13th, hello, hi, no, not right now, bye. A lot of the tropes that came out of the Friday the 13th movies, like the ending is not really the ending, here's your jump scare ending, or no smoking, no sex, no drugs, things like that, those became tropes of the slasher genre. Another cute little fun fact is, to date, there have been 12 Friday the 13th movies, and they've all been released in theaters. Phil and his input. Thanks, Phil.
Well, I mean, there is one thing I could point out here, and that is the fact that when most people think of the slashes and whatever else, the Halloween was the top one. But when you think about it, there were more decent Friday the 13th movies than Halloween.
Well, you do know when they came up with Friday the 13th, I can't remember his name, but the guy who was thinking of it, he's like, Halloween is doing really well. I want you to rip off that movie. Like, that was his literal saying, rip off this movie. It's making money. Let's do this.
The only name I can think of, I think, was Steve Miner. I think he was either a writer or director or something like that as part of the thing. I don't remember all of their names, but that one was very prominent throughout the series. So there was always returning people from the production side of it.
Yeah. And of course, we got some of the really coolest special effects and death scenes from the great, amazing Tom Savini. That guy is just brilliant.
He never managed to get into the movies himself. I mean, he's been in a few that he's, done shit with. So, it would have been interesting to see him in one of those movies.
I mean, the stuff that he does is just unimaginable. What I gotta remember, it's Sean something or other.
Sean S. Cunningham.
Yeah, Sean S. Cunningham was the
That's
one
the
who
other
was like, yeah, Sean S. Cunningham is the one that actually was like, hey, look, Halloween's making a lot of money. And so we really need to go ahead and kind of basically rip off, which is why in the first one, there's a lot of the first person views. Not only does that help establish the fact that you don't know who the killer is, but it's taken straight from Halloween, that first person point of view that you get to see, which also comes from what is that movie? The original Black Christmas, which a lot of
yeah,
people don't give
yeah.
enough credit to, because that's, in my opinion, that is the first slasher movie.
Yeah, well, that was 4 years before Halloween and 6 before that one too. So you think about that.
But yeah, I know a lot of people say that the father of horror slasher movies is Halloween, but I give it to Black Christmas because they did it first, and then Halloween kind of took from that, and then Friday the 13th took from Halloween,
I'm
and
trying to remember the actor that was in Black Christmas actually ended up continuing on with a lot of other horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street and shit. Um, played the cop. God damn.
oh, hold on, Nancy's father from Nightmare on Elm Street. We'll just do that because that's who he played. Donald Thompson.
That was the name of the father, not the actual actor. Yes,
Donald
because
Thompson was the
it was Nancy Thompson.
yeah. Who
So
played?
the
Hold on.
actor.
Who played? Who played? Who played? Look, I don't know why it was just like, hey, we'll just do this instead. That made no sense to me. Like, you go with John Saxon.
That's the one. Yeah, John Saxon.
John
He
Saxon.
was he was good. He was around for a lot of those movies after Black Christmas. So you know,
But yeah, it to me, um, but yeah, it was producer Sean S. Cunningham told Victor Miller to basically imitate, and he didn't say to do it just a little bit. He, in an interview that I saw with Victor Miller, he straight up said, "No." Sean called him up and said, "Let's rip it off." Like that's very like, let's do this. But it ended up working out. Um,
well, the way Halloween was supposed to go, it was never intended to have a sequel, and that's why John Carpenter never came back to the series until what he's not part of those remakes, is he?
I don't remember. I honestly
In
don't.
any case, yeah, that wasn't supposed to continue. Whereas Friday the 13th clearly was, because they're like, oh, we're going to do this, and then they straight up made 4. Whereas Halloween got to 2, and then they were like, oh, we weren't even going to do that, and then they tried to change it up. At the same time, I think that was around the same year as when they tried to do a different Friday the 13th tale. And when Jason didn't come back, it was like, nah, we're not doing that. So bring him back.
Right.
And then they did the same thing for Mikey Myers. So yeah, they're all ripping each other off, really.
They really are. But there, like I said, there's a lot of people. I'll be honest, I was amazed that Friday the 13th was able to become the franchise that it was. Don't get me wrong, I like the movies and I'm a fan of the franchise. I own all the movies, including the remake, which, in my opinion, of all the horror movie remakes, is the best, hands down.
I would agree.
And
I've actually seen every remake that existed. I don't know if there is any that I haven't seen.
It even has a kill that we put on this count for this one. Unfortunately, the only problem with that one is that the character's name is Amanda. Why we got to kill Amanda? Don't kill Amanda.
You can always switch it to Amelia.
No. No. Don't like that name. That's not my name. But
I wasn't implying anything.
In my opinion, the first one, other than, oh, by the way, let's do this real quickly. Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about characters dying and a couple of reveals. So if you've never seen a Friday the 13th movie, ding, spoilers up ahead. Okay? You've been warned. Of course, if you haven't seen these movies, I'm not. you need to go see some of these movies. Now, with the first one, I find the first one to be a little tedious. Takes forever to get to some of the kills. Takes some of the stuff is they just linger on some of the shots, in my opinion. It
Oh,
wasn't anything new or inventive that I had seen before. So the first one, other than the reveal that it's mommy instead of Jason.
yeah. See, even that reveal was a bit strange because you can literally see that the physique of the killer is not a woman. When you see, even from the first person perspective, it's like, okay, when you see the hands, they
Hmm.
look like men's hands, so you wouldn't think it. So it's like all of a sudden, hey, it's this little old lady. What the fuck? I think it's the very first kill when what's her name, Annie.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Annie, the
when she
hitchhiker
gets
girl.
when she gets taken out, you can literally see it's got to be a guy
Well,
wearing.
it is a guy. It is a guy. Until you
I
get to
know,
Pamela herself, it is a
yeah,
guy
exactly.
playing
So it's like
the
you
killer.
look at that and you wouldn't have expected it if you didn't already know. And
But
the people who
I
hadn't seen that would only have noticed that if they'd ever watched the movie Scream, because there's
what
a hint.
I right. What I do think that made the franchise successful was one, the way that they promoted it. They even put ads out in things like Variety calling it the most terrifying movie ever made, even though no one had ever seen the script or the story at that point. The promoting of it, the title, and the name really worked. It even got a couple of theater owners from Boston to give them $500,000 to make the movie, which is quite impressive because a lot of people, even though they like the franchise, they don't really start enjoying the franchise until three. And even what is her name? The lady who played Pamela Voorhees, Betsy
Uh,
Palmer.
yeah,
Even Betsy Palmer herself has said she read the script. This movie is shit.
but I was
I,
getting paid, so I did a thing.
well, that's exactly why she tells everybody the reason why I made this movie was because my car broke down. I was she originally said no to the movie. And she goes into an interview going, the only reason why I took the role was because my car broke down and I needed the money for a new car.
Well, they hard up for cash.
So if it was not for the fact that her car went nope, Betsy Palmer wouldn't have ended up being the mother in Friday the 13th, which I find hilarious. It's like the horror entities themselves was like, we really kind of want her to be Jason's mommy. So let's break her car.
Those
I
damn
just
gremlins. Yes.
But throughout the franchise, for me, Jason is probably the undisputed champion of kills within the movie. Um, I believe he has 161 kills out of his 10 movies that he appeared in as Jason Voorhees. And I watch a channel called Dead Meat, and throughout the entire franchise of him doing the counts, if you add in Pamela Voorhees and the ambulance guy, I can't remember his name, who plays him after he's dead, and everybody's like, okay, we don't like this guy. Can we go back to regular Jason? That's 206 kills within the entire Friday the 13th franchise. And with that, that is one of the reasons why I figured today we could look at 13, hence Friday the 13th, 13 of some of our favorite kills from the franchise. And like I said, none of these are in any particular order. These are just ones that I found interesting, whether it was just the way that they made me feel. I just like the aesthetics of them, Tom Savini's makeup job in them. You be proud in my Zoom call for. Okay, click on a field because we can't keep not. This is what happens when two people are in charge. You be proud in my Zoom call for work yesterday. I made my name Jason Voorhees. That's cute. I do love the fact that like when people when people talk about horror killers, a lot of people will say Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Jason. They don't ever.
True.
They don't. I don't hear a lot of people call him Jason Voorhees. They just call him Jason. Like, nah, he just has the first name. It's cool. Like, that's how ingrained into pop culture he's become. He doesn't even have to have the last name Voorhees anymore. You just say Jason and Campers and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I want to show some of the really cool kills that we have. Hey. I didn't say start. Where are you going? So this first one is from Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Eddie just finished boinking his girlfriend, so you know he has to die. And she had just gotten killed and her eyes were gouged out. And he comes back and finds her body and he stumbles up against the tree. And then Jason wraps a belt around his eyes. And what makes this terrifying is just how simplistic it is, yet effective. And watching how basically, as he turns that stick, his head just crushes under the pressure. It's very, and it just looks so painful and ow. And this, one of the things that you're going to learn from the Friday the 13th, especially from the original franchise, not the remake, but from the original franchise, is there are a lot of these kills that were cut down because of the MPAA. They said, no, that's too graphic. No, that's too much. We're going to give you an NC-17 rating. So this was one of the kills that was very graphic to begin with, and they toned it down. But yet, to me, it's still effective.
Yeah. Also, there's a bird.
There's a bird. Can I has body now? I want body now. Can I has the body now? I likes the body.
No, what they want is the eyes. Soft and squishy.
Yeah. Now, the next kill comes from the final chapter.
Oh.
And you guys might know the guy playing the actor, Christopher Glovin from Back to the Future, Mr. George McFly himself. Now, George played the more nerdier type guy, was constantly trying to get laid, finally got laid by one of the little Doublemint twins, is what I like to call them in this one, because of the two girls that are the same. And after getting laid, he decides to go get some wine, and he can't find the corkscrew. Now, obviously, there's no audio with any of this, but I do find it funny that he's sitting here and he turns around. He's like, "Ted, where's the corkscrew?" Like he's looking for it, and he's asked for it a couple of times. "Hey, Ted, where's the goddamn corkscrew?" Wham! Found it.
Yeah, you need to. There you go.
Well, Jason found it anyway. And to me, just like with the Nightmare on Elm Street, some of the kills, as inventive as they are, some of the delivery from the characters, like in this one, is just funny. God, Ted, where's the goddamn corkscrew? Whack! It's good timing, and I like it. Plus, Christopher Glovin does really well in this scene where he's like, "What's going on?" Gets hit in the machete in the face, and the way that he's just shaking during that. It's a great scene. The way how he shakes after he gets hit in the face with the machete.
Machete.
Machete. Whack. You will not be going to prom this year. Sorry. It's a great kill. This isn't one of my favorite ones of the franchise, but I did like his character for the fact that he was just simple. You know, obviously he wanted to get laid because that's what all these teenagers want to do. Plus, if you ever get to watch it, he's got some killer dance moves in this movie.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me of one of the other kills from Jason X. It's like, where's Condor? Oh, he's screwed, and he's like sitting on that corkscrew piece.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no. And plus, I love the fact that, here's Christopher Glovin. I mean, come on. He's such a, I loved him in Back to the Future. Unfortunately, now Marty McFly will never be born because Daddy's now dead, thanks to Jason Voorhees.
Oh, wow.
Now, the next one.
Now for the sequel.
Now it's time for the actual remake one, which has a brutal death scene in it.
Oh, a brutal death scene. All right, what do we got?
This is a recreation of one of the original death scenes, which we will get to. The sleeping bag death scene. In the remake, they wanted to pay homage to it, and so after having fun time,
Fun.
after porking,
Wow, fake.
after porking, and the boyfriend goes off, and Jason comes in, and I can't do all of this because there's a lot of nudity. I don't know if y'all know this. There's a lot of nudity in the Friday the 13th series. Just a little, a lot.
Part of the tropes. Part of the tropes.
Part of the tropes. But he
This
comes,
is the thing you're not
but
supposed to do in a horror movie.
but after a very graphic sex scene in this movie, these two had a very graphic sex scene. Amanda gets pulled out of the tent, and in the sleeping bag is being burned alive. It is brutal. It is evil. Hey, we can't get to you yet. You're not up next. You're up next, dude. And just the way that she just falls out of the bag. Like, hi, I'm dead now. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, if I'm gonna if I'm eating a camper, I kind of want them well done. You don't know where they've been or who they've been with.
I mean, sure.
Actually,
you're thinking about that. That's kind of a thing where it's like, you got. It's like you do what you got to do. If I was starving and there was no food around, I'd eat your leg. How would you eat my leg? I could teach you how to fish.
But I do like the fact that they pay homage to the original sleeping bag scene, which is on this count, guys. Don't worry. And the original one actually happens to be Kane Hodder's favorite kill within the franchise.
Yes.
So I think that scene's just brutal. I don't like the idea of being burned alive, and the fact that there was no way for her to get out of it. It just and then for the poor boyfriend just ripping his leg to shreds trying to get to her. Very brutal. Very, very brutal. So the next one is a classic. It comes from Friday the 13th Part 2. To me, the first time I watched it, I didn't expect it to happen. Because in horror movies, you can't kill off the disabled or children. That's a no-no.
Well, he's not a child. And yes, you do take out the disabled people. What are you talking about?
So this is a classic scene with the guy in the wheelchair. Where he finally, there's a girl that he's all like, hey, and she's all like, yeah, we can. And then he hears this noise and he goes out onto the patio. And, well, he's found real quickly. And it's very simplistic for most of it. But what is the character's name? Mark. For me, this is one of the cruelest kills, but it's also one of the most memorable because, like I said, he's in a wheelchair, so you're not expecting him to die.
He's no different than anyone else. He's not the hero.
He's not the hero, but he hasn't. He's one of the few characters that died that doesn't fit the tropes. He's not doing anything promiscuous. He hasn't had sex yet. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink.
Yeah, but that's not what happens to every single person. You think about that. That's just one of those things where they go, oh, these are the ones that should die first because of that. It's all a matter of convenience. He just happened to step outside.
But as simple as the initial whack of the machete is that's going to be in this scene, what really stands this one out is the lingering of him rolling down all the stairs and then the white flash that ends it. Where did my camera went off for some reason. Don't know why.
Okay, your camera's fine.
Okay, on my screen, my camera went off.
There he goes.
I always thought that was originally the end, and then there's this lingering of going down the stairs and flash. Why did you go all the way back? Don't do that to me. Yeah, well, it's all one video that I had to pull. It's the lingering of him going down the stairs. Because, like, a lot of places could have just stopped right there. Machete, you went backwards off of the patio, done. But then
Yeah.
they're like, no, we're going to go full. And he's going to go down every last one of these stairs, fade to white.
It's because every kill has to be dragged out. Okay, most of them, basically, like you said before, with the guy that got the corkscrew in the hand. Okay, when that happened to him, and then he got the machete, and he starts to shake and whatever else, it was just there for dramatic effect. So they have each person who's been killed, or they're slowly dying from, whatever he's done to them.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing. I mean, tension's gone. The motherfucker just came out of nowhere and stabbed someone or slashed him or whatever. But, it's got to be particularly horrific. So let's see what else we can do to the body on the way down.
On the way down. Now, the next one to me is the only redeeming quality of Jason Takes Manhattan.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't particularly fond of the music.
So, for those of you, Friday the 13th, I think this is 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah. He gets on a boat, heads to Manhattan, kills people in the city. It's so bad. And I really don't like the movie. It's probably one of my least favorite of the franchise. But this scene with the character Julius, who boxes, is just so funny. I just find this hilarious. And one of the things isn't it Hodder who plays him in this one?
Yes, I think it was he either started in this one or he played in the one before it, but he was in at least 3 to 4 movies.
So Hodder tells the actor who's playing Julius to go all out, hit him with everything he has, and he actually does it. He goes all out in this scene, just constantly punching and boxing and the whole 9 yards. And not only does the character, but the actor himself actually wears themselves out punching Jason. I mean, he punches him in the stomach, in the hockey mask, like he goes all out. And you're like, oh yeah, he didn't run. He's taking him on face to face. And Jason just soaks up every last punch that he throws at him.
See, that's just it. Jason was built to take punches. He's a tank. Right?
And I think what makes this one so fun is the entertainment value in it. Watching this kid go all out, taking on Jason, and this final scene here when he finally gets out of breath, and he's like, okay, I'm giving it all I got. And then he finally stops, when he finally does stop. I forgot. This is like I think it's like full 5-6 minutes. This one's a long one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, look how bloody his hands are from.
Yeah, well, he's punching the damn mask for starters.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not his best idea.
No, it's not.
So he gets up here. He's like, okay, take your best damn shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be more than happy to oblige. Whap! It's so great and funny, hilarious. Score! I laugh my ass off every time I watch it. I love it. It's just so funny. It's so funny. And for me, the kill doesn't have to be just bloody, gory. Sometimes something like this, it's just hilarious. Watching Jason punch Julius's head clear off, roll down the roof, and land into a trash can was comedic entertainment. It's what?
Well, that's what happens. They go further into a series. Eventually, things are going to start getting more and more ridiculous. So there you go.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Well, tell me I'm wrong on that. Nightmare on Elm Street went.
I didn't say you were wrong. I said yes, as in agree.
Yeah.
I think the last one that actually had anything to it was the fourth one, and even that was pushing it a little.
I'll be honest, when it comes to the Nightmare on Elm
Agreed.
Street franchise, I only like 1, 3, and A New Nightmare.
You see, everyone keeps saying that A New Nightmare is decent, but I keep watching it and falling asleep. So,
Thank you, Cassie. I will have fun with my kills. Another great kill actually comes from the first movie. Like I said, for me, the first movie is very slow pace. Because of a lot of the first person point of views, you don't actually get to see a lot of the really cool kills. You get to see the reveals, but you don't get to see the kills themselves. There are 2 kills within this franchise from the first one that I think are iconic, and this is going to be the very first one.
yeah, well,
And
before the
yep,
slasher genre became an actual thing, okay, the whole first person aspect is there from, your basic thriller movies, because when that kind of thing, like, crime stories and stuff like that, with serial killers, blah blah blah, most of those were done in first person when you can actually see them doing something. So they decided, oh, we're going to take that a step further. And instead of
but
having, 1 or 2 people off, it's going to be the entire fucking cast.
mhm.
There's one thing to look for it. When you're watching a movie such as this, you want to see how many people are in the cast. If the cast is small, not much can be done. So, most of the Friday the 13th movies have at least, let's say, minimum of 10 people. So, at
About,
least majority of those are going to get mutilated.
yeah. So this is actually from the end of the first movie. We just found out that it's actually Pamela Voorhees who's been killing everybody, and they just had her altercation with our final girl, and so she thinks she's defeated, and she's sitting alone.
The hands are still grasping for it.
What I did find interesting is, like, I see a lot of people when they talk about Jason Voorhees, they talk about, oh yeah, Jason, and for some reason people associate him with a chainsaw. Why?
Yeah, I remember that before I actually saw any of these movies. It was a Simpson episode, actually, where Homer
Yeah.
comes in wearing the chainsaw. He has the chainsaw and he's got the hockey mask, and I was like, oh, so it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought Jason Voorhees was that guy until actually going out and watching the movies, and it's like, where is this misconception coming from when they were completely separate?
I'm wondering if they're
Despite
merging that with, like, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because Jason, his weapon of choice is the machete. Matter of fact, Jason Voorhees never picks up a chainsaw, but is attacked by a chainsaw in this franchise.
Yeah, the machete itself is not even his iconic weapon when you think about it. They pointed out that it is in Freddy vs. Jason. It's like, oh yeah, well, Freddy's claw versus his machete. But literally every movie, he doesn't use the machete in every kill. I mean, he picks one up in, I think, in 3, but the second movie he's got whatever the hell he can come across. It's like the dude's literally just like, whatever I can find in the tool shed, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it might as well have just been, tool shed massacre.
I think it's because the machete is the most common of the weapons. You see it, you'll see it in 8, you'll see it in 7, you see it here in 1. It shows back up in 3. It becomes the most used weapon, so I think that's why it's his weapon of choice.
Possibly. I know.
Which I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I know in Jason X, for example, he starts off. It's like he doesn't have his machete, so he picks the biggest knife he can find. Until the idiots decide, oh yeah, he'll be fine if we give him his machete back. Like, fucking retard.
Which is funny because he does throw the knife and goes, "Okay, cool, machete, let's do this." But yeah, there are a lot of people depict him with a chainsaw, guys. Even though Jason is the equal opportunist of items to kill people with person, chainsaw was never on his list. He does get attacked by one, but he himself never uses a chainsaw. He uses a harpoon gun, he uses spears, he uses a machete,
Pitchfork.
pitchfork.
Yeah, maybe I think maybe it was because Mrs. Voorhees turned and started off with this machete, but at the same time, she didn't use the machete for all her kills either.
Mm-mm.
She
Again,
comes
because like
comes
there's
away with a regular knife when she goes to try and kill her the first time, but then you see her with the machete. Either that or
well,
I might
yeah,
have missed it,
bows
but
and
she might have
arrows.
yeah, got the arrows. Well, she used to work at the camp, so that made sense. Which, again, I suppose. I mean, if Jason himself was ever actually good at anything, he never knew his person until he started murdering everybody. He might have, grown up using all that kind of shit too, I suppose. They let you use knives in these bloody camps. It's stupid.
But no, like I said, I mean, I've seen Jason use many things, including liquid nitrogen, which we'll get to later. Um,
Oh,
but
I was going to say, you got that one. That's great.
dude, I'm sorry.
That's one of
I'm not
the
saying
best.
Jason X is not one of the greatest
But the
Friday the
kills.
13th. The kills, though, and some of the quippy one-liners are actually good in that movie.
Yeah, well, like I
It,
said, Kane Hodder was like pulling off his own moves in that one. He's like, well, he would do this, not this. He would draw it out like I said when they previously before the stream he basically goes to snap this guy's neck, and he's like, no, Jason would do it like this, and he just slowly, excruciatingly fucking snaps this guy one bit at a time, and you could hear the multiple cracks before he just drops the body, and it's awesome. When
mhm.
the people playing these characters start adding their own flavor to it, you know that they're the ones that should be playing these parts. Like, same as um, Robert Englund playing Freddy. All right,
Yeah,
that's impossible to recast. It really
which
is.
we've proved in the remake.
Yeah,
We really
not
did.
even that. The makeup was fucking bad. They were trying to go for dark in that movie, and it just it just didn't work. His one-liners were bloody terrible,
Oh yeah, very much so.
and because
Um,
they couldn't go for the comedy feel of the originals because it's not the same person. And then they tried for dark, and then his one-liners were just too. I don't know. They were trying to be like original Freddy, and they just didn't work. You couldn't take it seriously. Anyway,
all right, so next on our list is the original sleeping bag, which you can recreate in the game. If someone goes to that, you know what, that would be something that we could do. Is just go in and see how many of the kills from the movies we could recreate in the game.
well, well, we probably have to cut it down, but there are videos online we could probably take first and go, hey, look, how many times did this guy get killed? I think there's like at least, oh, fuck, how many were there? There was like 23 minutes of just him murdering people, and it's like, a lot of them were a bit plain because it's like, okay, well, here's the machete going into his face. Here's it going into the neck. Here's it going into the shoulder. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. But when he starts drowning people in the toilet, or he puts the spear down and he just shoves their head into it and stuff like that, that's the kind of crap you want. Or what is it where he stabs the person through the chest and then rips the body through like past the knife, cutting the body in half lengthways. That was cool. But yeah, something to recreate.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Kane Hodder started in 7, did
Yeah,
8,
there you go.
Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X.
Yeah, well, again, in Jason Goes to Hell, he also plays a security guard that he himself murders, which is kind of funny.
But what's funny is like a lot of people do associate with him as Jason Voorhees. Not, and a lot of people don't realize that there was what was it? Ari Lehman was in the first one, Warrington Gillette, then Richard Brooker, then Ted White, then C.J. Graham.
Yeah, it's because Kane Hodder played the most amount of consecutive movies. He got 4. All the others got like 1. Then it was another guy. Then it's another guy. Then it's another guy. I mean, you can tell the difference in the physique of the character between the second and third movie. When you finally get to see Jason in outside of first person, when he gets the hockey mask, you can literally tell that the guy has got a different build. He's big compared to the original one wearing the sack. You know?
Right. And I'm sorry, but I don't count anything from 5 because that's not Jason.
No.
I don't care if it's. I don't even care. You could try to go. Oh yeah, but at 5 in the beginning, Tommy Jarvis has hallucinations of them, and so. And I do realize that even the movie gives credit to. I think his name's Tom Morga, because of the hallucinations. But I don't care. He doesn't do any kills in that movie. Doesn't count.
No, not really.
And
The thing about 5 is it wasn't a bad movie if they had kept, like, if they had made that the one where Jason came back to life instead of 6, because the whole plot of 6 was kind of weird. But 5 was probably the better movie out of the two of them. Tommy Jarvis's character was the better version in that one. Him, slipping into the whole, hey, look, I've gone through all this shit. Now I'm going to become a killer. That would have been a great angle. Even if they used him in a completely, like, in a spin-off instead of in another Jason movie, that might have worked. But the problem with 5 is, despite it not actually being Jason, they made the character exactly the same as Jason. And when you see the person playing him, there's no way that guy had the kind of strength to do the kind of the kills that he pulls off in this movie. It's just not believable. But
yeah,
I mean, like I said, you see him in 3 and 4, and he's fucking built. But this one, I mean, outside of the get-up, they had to have been, padding this guy up, or they had someone else in the outfit until they revealed his face or something. But
yeah.
it's really
And
the
then
only downside.
And so if you ever, so a lot of people will be like, so he has 2 hockey masks, and no, Jason Voorhees himself doesn't have the one with the 2 blue stripes, which you see in 5 in the beginning. It's because that's not actually Jason Voorhees. His will always have the red marks on his.
Well, there's actually different versions of that mask going along. Anyway, the red stripes change.
They do, but his will be red.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. I'm just saying, like, overall, it's like they start off with stripes, and then there's a triangle on the forehead in a couple of them. I think as it gets between the newer ones, but
Oh, and I guess you could say he does have another mask, which comes from when he's in space and those little nanites recreate him.
Beady red eyes behind it. It's just like the fact that you see that look on his face when the bitch is just like, oh no, I can take him, and he shoots the guy, and he's like bulletproof or some shit. And all of a sudden the eyes just get bigger, and it's just like, you shot me, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he punches her head off.
like I said, 10 is not the greatest out of the franchise, but to me, it's a great popcorn flick.
Yeah, I think it was made for like the comedy crowd. There was a lot of dumb shit.
But still, it's at least entertaining enough, especially with the kills, which we do have one of the kills on this count. It's just entertaining enough to enjoy, get some popcorn, maybe get a pizza, get some friends over and watch it. That, you know what? Next time you do a watch party, we should start with the Friday the 13th franchise. And then maybe bring everybody in who did the watch party on one of these, and we can rank the movies together. We'll sit down, rank the movies together, and say what we liked about them and what we didn't. Maybe we could do that.
There is a possibility.
Nothing like coming up with ideas while promoting the show that you're already on.
Free advertisement. Anyway.
Yay! All right, so the next one is the classic sleeping bag scene. So one of the things about this one is this was cut down severely. Originally, he's supposed to slam her up against the tree multiple times, and the MPA said, no, you can't do that. No, that's too graphic, that's too violent. Even though you don't see anything, it was too graphic and too violent. So they cut it down to one swing and a death, and it actually makes it a lot more impactful of showing how strong Jason really is. I'm going to mute your channel.
Do it. It's fine.
All I'm hearing is ba-dink, 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 and all these notifications are coming up off of the side of my screen. Anyway, and it ended up becoming one of Kane Hodder's favorite kills within the franchise. And this is his very first outing because this is 7.
Hmm.
Would you two stop?
Oh my god, just press the damn button already.
You squishy, muddy Jason.
Swamp Thing.
Hello. Can I come in? He just drags her out of the tent like, I got this. No problem.
You know, it's funny. I actually completely forget about this one because I remember what happens in Jason X. He literally does this exact same thing to a hologram.
Oh yeah, the hologram
I
one
always
where the girls are all
say,
like, "Do you want to kill us?" I'm like, "Oh my god, what the hell is this shit?"
"Here, want to smoke some weed?"
I remember that. Oh my god.
Fuck.
But there, yeah, because I think by the time we get to Manhattan, this red mark here is like a lot thinner. But remembering the mask, but just
You know, you look at the mask now as well. It's starting to fuse to his face because it's been on
yeah.
him that long, and he also started, rotting underwater.
But it's just this. I think even though that wasn't the original way that it was supposed to be done, the slam, bam, and dead just proves how big badass Jason really is, how strong he really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a very iconic scene. And like I said, and I had to put this on here just because it is Kane Hodder's favorite. There's a couple of things. I don't think a count on any of the best kills can be done any without putting Tom Savini's favorite kill on here, which we'll get to, Kane Hodder's kill, which we have to get to, which we did, and of course the wheelchair scene because it's just one of those. A lot of people, it came out of nowhere, especially for the time of the '80s. People are going, "You can't do that, not to him." I think
Well,
every count has to have
it's
it.
it's not even just the 80s, but I mean, like, most of the time, I wouldn't say disabled people are exempt from this, but children never
Children
suffer.
definitely.
Even with the rating as high as these would have been, I mean, they're rated R over here, but they only have mild violence by comparison to new stuff. It's just, it's the graphic of the scene is
Oh yeah.
different to, actually having gore in it, whatever. So it's
Hmm.
not always the same.
And
Hey, Daisy.
hey, Daisy, how's it going? Yeah, this was, but it's such a great iconic scene, and I know that if someone's hiding in a tent in the game, you can pull them out and recreate this scene, which is kind of
Yeah, I
cool.
know. I saw that in that video. It was freaking hilarious. It's either that or, lifting people up and snapping the spine of your knee. That's always fun.
Hmm.
And then I think it happened in the exact same thing. The with the sleeping bag thing. He goes and does that. No, or is it? Might have been in Freddy vs Jason. I know he does it in one of them. Basically, he snaps the person over his knee and then just sort of flings them sideways, and the body does like a cartwheel in the air before they hit the ground. I'm just trying to remember which one it was that happens in. Actually, yeah, Jason X. It's the guy in the simulation room. He's in there with one of the mercs or whatever, trying to play a fucking online VR game or something, and then he comes along
Hmm.
and just goes crack and throws the dude over.
Pretty
Fucking love
much,
that
yeah.
bit.
No,
No,
that
you're in the way of my shot. He's behind him.
come here. Well, come here. Come here. There you go.
She needs a mask.
Yes, let's put a mask on the puppy. Do you
Yeah,
want to be
yeah.
you want to be a killer puppy?
Puppy's size Voorhees mask. Be awesome.
Here. Do you want this? Is this what you want? Bye. So the next one,
Puppy's
one.
dream.
We can't do something with Fuel without having a puppy of some sort on it, right?
Yeah, I like to
Fuel loves
explode
his
towards the
puppies. So the next one actually comes from Freddy versus Jason.
Yes. One of my favorites from that movie. Not the best movie of all time. I did approve of Jason's get up though. He looks definitely like the fucking Hulk in that one. I was actually surprised that Kane Hodder didn't play the character though when it came down to it.
So the name of the character is Trey. And the reason why I love this kill is because Trey's a fucking dick. He's a complete fucking asshole. This little prick here. He's rude and mean to his girlfriend, to his friends. He's a fucking prick. He just finishes having sex with her. It tells her that now she smells after sex or something like that, that she needs to go wash up and da 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 da. Like, he's just absolutely brutally mean. Like, I cheered with this death. I really did. Because it was so satisfying to see him get his up and comings. It's one thing when you just like to kill because it's cool. But man, when they actually do something fun to somebody you just can't stand, it's fucking great. So basically, they just get laid. He tells her that she needs to go take a shower. So she goes to take a shower. And in this scene, he ends up stabbing the guy repeatedly in the back till his heart comes out and then folds him up in the chair. And the visuals of the way that he's folded in the wrong way is just fantastic. I love it. So here he goes having his beer. Hi.
And stab.
Stab. I mean, like, that is such a great. Like, I cheered.
I just love the fact that see there's a shaking again, and then of course just to finish it off to make sure. What's funny is the fact that the guy can still feel pain after all that stabbing.
Well, I mean, look, that's his heart right there coming out.
Well, I don't think that would be his heart. It's the wrong spot, but
it's supposed to be his heart. I like that. You prick. You get what you deserve. You're an asshole. Fuck you.
The strange
Fuck
thing
you,
is,
Trey.
The strange thing is this. He doesn't go after anybody else in the house. Why not? That's what didn't make any sense to me in this movie. He's like, why thief your way into someone's house, kill one person, and then leave the rest? And then stalk them one by one afterwards.
Maybe because he knew Trey was such an asshole. Hey, agent. Jason is way strong. Hey, miss. Maybe because he knew that these people had suffered enough knowing this fucking prick. And said, you know what? I'm going to let you have a few more minutes. But fuck that prick. Fuck Trey. I was so happy when that asshole fucking got killed. Absolutely happy. That's why this is on this is why this one is on the count. One, it is cool because of the whole bed and seeing Trey's body go the wrong way.
And of course, like I said, the fact that he can still feel the bed cracking him in half is fucking crazy.
Like the only thing Trey does cool is the fact that he held onto his beer through this whole thing.
Yeah, but he spilt some of it.
But he held on to it.
You don't waste a beer like that. Well, realistically, if you had the grip there to begin with, then once that happens, the muscles would tense up, and he would have crushed the can in his hand.
There. Now he lost the beer, but up until then, he had the beer.
Yeah. The look on his face, you can feel every excruciating.
I like the look on Chase's face. You deserve that, asshole.
No, he needs a speech bubble. Just right there. What is he thinking?
Hold my beer. No. Not only is it a cool death, but for me, this one's the satisfying one because if you're a complete asshole to your girl, or vice versa, if you're a fucking bitch to your guy, you deserve this. That's your significant other. Treat them with respect. They deserve it. They're with you for a reason, and it shouldn't be to be abused, verbally or
Yeah.
mentally
The only real
or
problem is the fact
physically.
that she's all poopy about it. Oh, he's dead.
I would have been
Keep the
like, thank
keep this
God.
beer here at this
I
party.
would have handed Jason the other beer that's on the table. Like, thank you. I really appreciate you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Let me know if there's anything I could do for you. You know, I play Dead by Daylight. I can show you where the other survivors are. I could point them out for you.
One's hiding in the bush. One's under the bed.
He's in the locker. He's in the locker. It's in the locker.
It's funny you say that because Freddy does end up killing someone in the locker, or he attempts to. Yeah, and then Jason stabs her.
Now you kind of. Now, a lot of you probably just saw the fact that I let the clip run a little bit too long, so it went into the next clip of probably the most iconic scene from the original Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, where's my bacon?
I smell bacon. I smell bacon. And again, this was on the kill count, 1, because it's Kevin Bacon. 2, it's a very iconic scene. And 3, this is actually Tom Savini's favorite kill, which he does, of course, the makeup work on it, the special effects on it. And when it comes to horror makeup special effects, Tom Savini is a fucking god.
Yeah, it's funny though that not a lot of people remember that Kevin Bacon was in the first movie. 100%. It's like, oh my god, is that Kevin Bacon? Like, yeah, but
A
not for
very
long.
young Kevin Bacon. He's not footloose and fancy free, but Jason will make sure that he is. But I like the scene, the build up to it, the build up to it. He's just had sex, everything's cool. We're gonna smoke a joint.
Now you got to think about this for a second. How does one get their arm all the way around and then hold that guy in place?
Go gadget Jason arms.
It's not Jason.
Yeah, I know it's not a Jason kill. It's a Pamela kill. It's still a Friday the 13th kill. But that, when he's like, what the, like the suspense here, and he looks up,
that?
Bam! Such a great kill. Hey. Go back. We'll get to Handstand Boy here in a minute. But it's such a great classic move.
Oh.
And I am glad that they did a lot of remastering, because if you watch this without it being remastered, you could actually, the prosthetic here is very visible nowadays. Because it's where here you can see, like, they've gone in, they've digitally got the skin tone the same colors and stuff like that. And back in the day when you first watch it, you really couldn't see it, but now that you have all these high definition TVs, things like that, you could actually see the prosthetic and the different color that it was, even though they tried to blend it. So being able to go back and blend it a little bit more is still really cool. But still, this is a very iconic Friday the 13th kill. Plus it's Kevin Bacon. So now everybody can have some breakfast in the morning now that Jason's killed him. If they survive.
Yeah. And just for anyone who's interested, this is exactly where Dylan gets it for his bacon in a bag. True story.
So the next one, dude, this character honestly has no substance in the entire movie. Okay. Other than he gets a really cool kill, he has a pregnant girlfriend, and he can walk on his hands. Like, that's all I know about this character.
Yeah, like, well, you're not supposed to know anything about the characters. That's why no one cares when they die. It's a slasher movie. Who gives a shit? No one needs depth. The only person who ever gets depth is the one that survives at the end. And a lot of the time it's like, oh, we've got to go through this tragic story of ours, especially in part 3. That is one of the most annoying parts of that movie, is the fact that the leading character literally spends about fucking 10 minutes rehashing this story from back in the day that has no bearing on the story whatsoever. And it's like, fast forward button right here to the next kill. Thank you. Same thing happens right before Kevin Bacon gets killed. His woman basically starts going on about this really uninteresting dream that she has. And it's like 10 minutes later, they're still talking about it. Fast forward.
But whoo, one of the things is the guy okay, so the setup is he's with his girlfriend, she's taking a shower, he goes to go get beer. Why he has to do this on his hands, I have no idea, because reasons.
Because he's an idiot.
So one, it's just ridiculous, because the guy's just walking on his hands. Now, when you originally saw this when it first came out, this is from number 3. And there's a big thing about a lot of the 3 movies when this came out, is that they were all in 3D. So in the theaters, when you were watching this, what made the kill really cool was that the machete was actually coming straight down towards you as the audience member, because it was shot in 3D. Doesn't really translate nowadays, but it's still a cool shot, because just envision being ripped from crotch down with a machete. Also, it took many years before I ever even saw the fact that Jason was standing there, because I was always paying attention to doofus on his hands. So I never saw Jason there.
It's not like they really needed him to actually be standing right there waiting, because a lot of the time he just comes out of nowhere and does whatever, you know?
Yeah, so like when I first watched it, I thought he came out of nowhere from wherever.
That's what you think, because the guy is that big, but somehow he's incredibly fucking stealthy. You know, you'd think you'd hear him walking around in a place like that. He's got, you know, fucking mass to him, and those are wooden floorboards. The shit would creak.
Plus the shoes he wears. Yeah, you'd be hearing him claw popping everywhere.
Everything. You would hear him coming, but somehow he just appears out of nowhere to kill just about everybody.
You know what I need to do? I need to hire Jason Voorhees to teach my neighbors, because I can have a 90-pound girl in this apartment complex, and that's 90 pounds when she's wet with her clothes on, and she still sounds like a herd of elephants coming down the hallway. I need to have him teach people how to walk. Hi, bye. But it's ridiculous. It's funny. It's memorable. This one comes from, like I said, the 3rd installment. So this is where Jason actually gets his mask. And it's just entertaining as all could get out. Hey, hello, looks up,
and
flat, and went all the way back. I pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, stop pushing the buttons.
My arthritis is killing me. Okay, hush.
And
you control it.
All of those facial shots. I can't believe this is happening right now. Emergency tracheotomy.
Yes, I had to cut this up a little bit because there's a couple of scenes where you could see side boobage and.
Yeah, I mean that'd be terrible for everybody concerned, wouldn't it? Okay, that was kind of funny. Just slow motion. Oh, my neck.
But still, I think it's a memorable. You know, you remember that scene from that movie. You really do remember that scene. You remember that, and the fact that he finally gets his hockey mask from 3. Some of the bad 3D stuff in it, which kind of sucks nowadays, but it's still entertaining. And of course, you remember Shelley, the irritating. I'm gonna irritate everybody. Oh, thank God he died.
Yes, well, just remember, he's the one that gave him the mask in the first place.
He's the one who gave him the mask in the first place.
After he dies.
All right, so if you haven't figured out what this one is yet, the next one is actually the final chapter, where we actually get to see Jason Voorhees die.
Dun, dun, dun.
And yes, that's little Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this is Tom Savini himself said that he wasn't going to come back, and they said, "Well, we're going to kill off Jason." He was like, "Well, if you kill him off, I'll come back to do the makeup work." And so they said, "Yeah, we're killing him off." Which, hey guys, they didn't kill him off.
Well, they
And
kind of did, but it was more like hiatus, I suppose.
he was on a brief hiatus,
It was
but
like a 2 year gap, I think.
so Corey Feldman's character goes to save his sister by shaving his head to distract Jason so the two of them can take him down. And originally, like I said, this was supposed to be it. This was supposed to be done. That's why it's called The Final Chapter. Jason's supposed to die. And not only is it because it's actually Jason Voorhees' death, but it's also the way he dies is awfully brutal.
Which is actually kind of strange because I'm pretty sure he also gets something in his head in the third movie. Because by now his mask has got the crack in the top where the axe went in the last
Where the
time.
axe. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Clearly
hi.
didn't go deep
Are you Corey Feldman? I'm not sure. Can I have your autograph?
enough. Why is there a mini me over there?
And what's interesting is if you actually watch how this plays out, she has to take the mask off first. This scene here of Jason's death became the staple in the Friday the 13th game on how you have to kill Jason Voorhees. You have to get the mask off first before you can kill him. And, and because you don't have Corey Feldman, you're supposed to wear Mommy's sweater to distract him. So you have to distract him using Mommy's sweater versus being Corey Feldman. And then take the mask, and then you can kill him.
Well, that's the only two ways I've ever actually brought him down. Was where he's trying to look like him, or someone's pretending to be his mother. Yeah, that's right. Then he falls, and
such a great kill. It really is. I mean, you get to see Jason's deformed face. You get to see, and I'll just call him Tommy Jarvis before somebody yells, his name is Tommy Jarvis. Yes, I know who Tommy Jarvis is in the movie.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because then you get Halloween where it's Tommy Doyle. How many fucking Tommies do we need in this series? Come on.
A lot. We need a lot of Tommies in the slasher franchise. But it, you know, like I said, it's iconic because this, and I know a lot of people's like, yeah, but he doesn't really die. He was supposed to be dead here. I'm counting it as a death. I don't care.
Yeah. See, this is where I drew the line originally. Before completing the collection, I was like, this is where he dies. This is where it should have ended. The rest of it, just by having Kane Hodder as the killer from 7 on was not a bad thing.
Right.
And bringing him back to life and whatever else, they kind of ruined Tommy Jarvis's fucking character.
Mm-hmm.
Like the next installment where it's not even Jason, his character is literally fucking traumatized. That makes sense. I mean, look at what happens to this kid at the end of this movie. He's like,
well, he's the one who kills him.
I know, but he's all the shit that's going down, and he's like what, 10 years old?
Yeah,
or less. And it's like, well, I've seen some shit. Next movie, he's got that pent up aggression. Anytime everyone sort of picks on him and shit, because it's like I killed a guy, don't bring it. And then it's like, no, we're just going to skip ahead to the next one and bring him back again. And his character is completely fucking normal, apart from, oh, the obsession. I've got to go dig him up to make sure he's dead. Like,
yeah, I didn't. It made no sense.
That literally made no fucking sense. There should have been grave robbers that just sort of happened upon it. Because his character is just, apart from the obsession, he's just a normal fucking teenager at that point. It's just normal.
No, it would have been a lot more sense if he was guarding his grave to make sure that he never came back, and he finds these two assholes who try to rob his grave and get his machete or something to see if they could sell it on eBay or something back in those days. That would have made a lot more sense than
Go
than
and steal
Tommy himself doing it. Yeah.
go and take his machete, his hockey mask, sell his body online. eBay wasn't a thing because it's the 80s, but you could hold an auction. It's just that simple. They could have done something
Yeah.
similar.
Regardless, they would have gone in, taken pictures, da 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 da. And it would have made more sense than having Tommy. I've got to see if he's really dead, dude. You killed him yourself when you were a kid. He's really dead.
Yeah,
Don't do this.
They could have literally set fire to the damn body and made sure there was nothing left. And then
Now,
it's like, oh no, I've dug him up and he's come back to life and killed the guy I brought with me. Stupid me. What the hell, man?
yeah. But hey, if Jason never came back, though, Fuel, if Jason never came back, we probably wouldn't have the kill that almost everybody says is the greatest kill in history within the entire franchise.
It nothing to do with him coming back. It's just the way they got him to come back.
I know.
It's fucking bad.
It's stupid. Actually, doing what they did in 10, where he was frozen, and then having him dethaw made more sense than what happened to bring him back originally. Which brings us to Jason 10 or Jason X.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, what most people consider to be the greatest kill within the franchise.
Yeah. And of course, it has to be the blonde.
So if you haven't seen this one, they find Jason frozen and they find out who he is, and so they want to experiment on him. What?
No, a little more backstory than that.
Okay.
People don't live on Earth anymore. They take
That's
a spaceship back to Earth, where it's a complete barren wasteland. Literally, Planet Brown. There you go, Daisy. There's references. They find him in an old abandoned facility where he was frozen. They take him on board the ship, go basically running the whole thing is all like, hey, we can get money for this because he's this guy. And of course, they all think he's dead, and he's not. He just thaws himself out.
So here's the half-dressed smart scientist girl. Because,
the only smart character in here, and she literally gets killed straight off the bat.
I love the fact that she's like, where'd he go?
Oh, jeez. Took my eyes off him for a second, man.
Oh, yeah, and just so y'all know, like, he keeps moving. So if you go through this, he moves a couple of times, and she's like...
Like Ragdoll, fuck off.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a great kill. It's inventive. And like I said, a lot of these got inventive throughout the series. And no, there are a lot of really cool other deaths that I could have put on here from Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, gee, yeah, that one. I don't know if you could really count most of those as actual Jason. I mean, it's supposed to be his spirit and whatever, but he's not in his own body. And a lot of it involved him eating people's hearts and weird shit. He started this whole ritual fucking movie instead, and I'm like, what the hell? No, don't worry, guys. There's magic involved, and I know all about it because I wear this hat.
But do you remember in Jason Go to Hell, the two people are having sex in the tent, and Jason grabs the signpost and rips her in half?
I was going to say that happens
while she's still on top of them.
I was going to say there's the tent in the woods having sex. That happens in how many movies?
This one, though, he takes a signpost and he jabs it in her stomach and rips her up while she's still riding her boyfriend.
Okay, I was going to say kind of similar to that one in 2, where those two are in that fucking... I think they're in the bed at the end or whatever, and he puts a spear straight through both of them. I always remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. But one of the things about that one, but...
Wait, sorry, but I'm bringing this one back. Yeah, oh my god. Gonna go vomit. And...
There. She said, yick, LOL. I moved it to where you don't just see the smashed face. But one, I still haven't figured out how to cover up nudity on the videos yet, so I had to find one where I couldn't bring out nudity, so I had to find ones that didn't have nudity in them,
Oh, don't worry.
or at
There's
least for
plenty of
parts
those
of the
now, man.
clips.
Plenty of those.
You know, there's also what was it? Oh, there was another one in the remake, Trent, the pompous ass from that one,
Yeah, with
where
the tow truck.
yeah, where I think he like grabs him and kills him through the chest with a machete.
Yeah,
But one of the things that makes it really cool is then he slams him into like
yeah,
a hay bale, and the truck just drives off with his dead body into a machine, and
yeah,
Jesus just watches
yeah.
like,
He
"Bye,
stabs him.
bitch."
He stabs him through the chest and basically lifts him up and then drops him onto the fucking hook and he just fucks off.
Again, great. It's inventive. It's a different type of kill. You know,
Actually, what's weird is in the remake he brings back one of the weapons that was used in no other movie but the first, and that's the bow.
hmm
So the dude is on the boat, with his, girlfriend water skiing or whatever, and he just basically shoots him through the face with the fucking
right.
arrow.
Because the only other time you see the bow and arrows used is when Pamela uses it in the first
At
one.
the actual camp, yeah.
Uh huh.
And you don't even get to see that. You just find the corpse later with all the arrows stuck in it, and it's like, oh, look at that.
Now,
Pin to
I'm
the
not.
door.
I'm not going to say that this next kill is great because it's not.
Yeah, but that guy was such a tool. It doesn't really matter.
Um, but what this one is for me, and this one comes from, I think it's six. Is it
Um,
six? Hold on.
well, show me the image and I can probably tell you.
It's the happy face one. No, yeah, six. It comes from six
Yeah, I
during
was
the
going to say
paintball
it'll be
scene.
it'd be either 5 or 6 because 5 had a lot of daytime scenes, but they also
Well,
had those hillbillies out in the woods, so I think it's 6. Yeah.
so this one's six, and this is the paintball scene where, people go, oh, he only kills teenagers. No, he kills anybody who steps foot on his property. End of story.
And
Why?
Manhattan
And when he steps in
and
Manhattan,
on the
that's now
boat
his new territory.
and in space
New
and
territory.
and on his boat.
Wherever he may roam is his home. That's his now territory.
Yeah, like Crystal Elm Street. Fucking why not?
But
Hey, Jethro.
because six came out. When did six come out?
Like 87.
This is part six. Jason Lives 86. So I was
Yeah,
7 years old. So even though I'm pretty sure I've seen some Friday the 13th movies, I actually remember watching this one. And the scene in this was so stupid that even at 7, I laughed at it because it's
well,
so stupid, which is why it's my favorite.
like I said, 6 was kind of fucking ridiculous.
Of course, I do love the fact that he's promoting the fact that, yep, you're dead. Oh, so if you don't know, so there's these three
And as
guys, and they've been hit with the paintballs. They got taken out by a girl. So this guy's all pissed off because a girl beat him in paintball. Oh my God.
oh no, oh yeah, but isn't there a nerd dude hanging around somewhere too?
Yeah, the nerd. That is the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Had to make it worth his time, so he had to murder a few people.
Roaming churches. I just remember seeing that stupid smiling face and going, this is supposed to be scary? That's funny, stupid. And I'm 7, by the way.
And
I saw this in theaters with my dad. I laughed my ass off on this. And that's why I made this my top pick, because that's what I remember. This was
come
my
on,
introduction to the Friday the 13th franchise.
I saw Predator at age 4, and I laughed my ass off when that dude got his spine ripped out. I mean, he was dead, but still.
Yes, but you're also the son of Satan, so
That's all
I, being
you're
more
talking about.
normal,
You got it wrong. Okay? He drives the bus. Keeps an eye on the door.
I, unlike you, a sane normal person.
Oh, you're normal.
Wait a minute, Daisy. What? I don't think she believes me.
Wait, hold on. He's the right one. See, smiley face. Laughing.
But this just stood out. And I will say this, that it, again, with the Freddy versus Jason, they kind of pay homage to this when Jason slams Kelly so hard into the tree when he just hits her with the machete. Somehow it doesn't split her in half. I know her. I can't remember what her character's name is. I just know it's Kelly Rowland's character.
Shit. Yeah, she was so annoying in that movie. Um, Kia?
I don't know.
It was Kia. Some
I'll be honest.
crap
I wasn't a huge fan of the Freddy versus Jason movie. I really wasn't.
kills. Kills only. The story was stupid.
Um,
It
even
was
then,
literally
that kill was stupid.
that one was stupid. I said it had good kills. I didn't say that one was
Does
a
have
good one.
the best.
The bed.
Like I said, the bed is like the best kill in the entire thing. The reveal of when the son looks over at the father and dad's head is gone.
Yeah, no, it's not gone. It's still there.
Oh, there, and then it falls off. Yeah,
No,
and
he
he's
goes to
just
touch him, and his head falls straight off. But then all the blood starts spurting out, like someone's hooked up the cables, and it's doing it on purpose. I'm like, that just looks so fake. Literally,
and
all the kills started doing that. Even when his fingers come off at the end of it, it's like they just start spurting out all the time. Or, when they're jabbing at each other, and each wound is just spitting out everywhere. It's so stupid.
and then
But
of course the
that's what it got
massacre at
for. It
the
was
rave.
2003. Yeah, well, like I said, like when Freddy's trying to kill off the other one,
That's
Trey's
my
one.
kill.
Yeah, and he basically puts the spear straight through the two of them, and then
Uh
throws
huh.
them across the field. That shit was funny. Or the other guy, when the two fucking drunken idiots are standing there in the field, and they're like, "Hey, making fun of Jethro for fucking a dead pig or some shit," and he
Yeah.
just snaps his head clean around. Son of a bitch.
But the thing is like when you watch that, you can actually start picking out a couple of things. So like, it makes no sense that Jason can hit Kelly's character so hard with the machete, but it doesn't cut her in half as hard as he hits her. It just sends her flying across the screen into a tree.
Yeah. Especially when that dude, fucking hell, he looks like Shaggy from Scooby Doo with
Mm-hmm.
long hair. He's like, the hippie guy. He literally just chops him in half with about the same amount of momentum with his machete
Right.
earlier on in the thing when Freddy's possessed him, and it's like that was actually kind of cool. But yeah, they didn't do much with her. At the same time, neither was the nerd. The nerd guy got what? He got thrown into a wall with that the bracket sticking out. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember. But like that, her being slammed into a tree from Jason slinging her is supposed to be paying homage to this. What was the and the whole rave scene is paying homage to A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, where Freddy's at the pool party and goes ham on everybody.
Pretty much.
But that's just 13 of 206 kills from this franchise.
Yay.
206 kills. Man, he's getting. And just think how many machetes that takes to kill that many people. Because eventually that has to get dull. Killing that many
I
people.
don't think that matters really in the end because he's got the strength to do whatever with it.
True. That's very true. And like we did mention, even though a lot of people associate the machete with him, if you really pay attention within all these kills, even if you just take out the two movies that he's not in, he uses a lot of different types of weapons, from spears to knives to liquid nitrogen.
Are you punching that dude's head clean off?
Yeah, but I always, like I said, and even, but I do find it funny that he just rips the guy's arm off in that paintball scene. He's like, "Oh look, machete, cool. I needed one of these. I've been missing this."
I'm trying to remember if he does that in any other movie. There's a few. I know he rips off Freddy's arm. Does he do it to any of his victims? Might have to go through them again.
Well, like I said, we could always do a watch party and watch it from the first all the way to the remake, and then I say we rank them.
Yeah,
And I say we rank. I say we rank them off of kills, entertainment value, and story.
there's story.
Of course, there's a story.
Nah, not really.
There's always a story. Doesn't have to be good, but there's always a story.
So you say.
So, out of the ones that we watched, in all honesty, which one's your favorite?
I don't know. Probably have to see the either the liquid nitrogen kill or fucking the one with the bed, Trey's death.
Yeah,
Possibly the one in the remake where the bitch is in the bag.
Oh, in other words, Fuel wants to watch Amanda burn in a sleeping bag.
Sure.
Look, the only reason why I know what her name is because it's my name, okay?
Okay.
Obviously, my favorite. Look, don't get me wrong. I know the liquid nitrogen is really fucking cool, but watching Trey get snapped in half in the bed will always be probably my favorite kill, hands down, just because of how much of a dick he is.
Yeah, but it's not even that. Okay, you're focusing on the character. It's the kill itself is very satisfying.
Oh yeah, the kill is satisfying, and the fact that what that character is satisfying, and the story. Like, it's a double whammy for me. It's a great kill. The whole Jason staring there and looking at his work like fucking Mikey Myers in Halloween classic. And the fact that he was a complete fucking dick.
Pretty much.
Makes that kill probably my favorite. Which is really weird because, like, a lot of people will constantly say that it has to be the liquid nitrogen face smash scene.
That's definitely up there.
Well, I mean, obviously, I had to do my research, and I had forgotten that Friday the 13th was yesterday. So, of course, I was kind of scrambling. So, I just went in. A lot of times when I was looking for the kills, other people's kill counts came up, and I just quickly read through. And I was like, no, yeah, no. I would try to go find the clips. That one has nudity, so that one has to go away because I can't get rid of the nudity at all. So, and almost in every one of everybody's things, Frozen Face Smash is number one, which I get it. It was something new, inventive, had not been seen. So I get it. I really do. But for me, Trey's death will always be hands down my favorite, just due to the fact that, yep, fuck that asshole. I mean, it's one thing when you're being the Chad of the movie. It's another thing when you chat so much you become a fucking dick shit.
Okay.
Okay, so in the what is it? What did I say his name was? From the remake that got attached to the truck. Let me look his name back up.
Oh, fuck. I'm stuck on Trey all of a sudden because I'm pretty sure there was a character in that movie named Trey. I think it was the Asian guy.
because I think it starts with a Trent. I knew it was another T name. Like Trent, yeah, he's kind of a jerk, kind of a Chad. Why would you invite your friends over to your parents' cabin and be like, "Don't touch anything"? You're a bunch of horny teenagers. They're gonna touch shit.
They're trying to show off because he's a bitch.
Well, yeah, he brings them over basically to flex. That's what he does. He's like, look how rich I am. Look how rich. It's like, you're not even rich. Your parents are rich.
Yeah, have you noticed there's actually a thing here, okay? Before they did the remake, I'm pretty sure it came out first. The first Bayformers movie, he was in that too, for like a split-second scene. He's literally driving the same car in that movie as he does in the remake of Friday the 13th.
But, yeah, I mean, Trent's a jerk. Don't get me wrong. But has nothing. No, he's nowhere near as much of an asshole as Trey is. And the fact that people try to compare Trey to what's his name from Nightmare on Elm Street?
No.
The bad boyfriend.
Yeah, hold on. The one in the original, you mean?
Rod.
Yeah, he's
he's a bad boy, but I mean, he was never mean. He was never mean in the slightest to his girl. He may have been a little pushy, but he was not downright verbally, mentally, and physically abusive to Tina. Not like how
he was more of the prankster asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know. But no. Trey is a complete fucking douche, and that's why that's my favorite. So, on that note, that brings us to the end of our 13 kills for our Friday the 13th special. Yay!
Yay.
Your enthusiasm is overwhelming, Fuel. Thank you so much.
And you're the one that gave the slow clap.
Better?
Yeah, that just seems more sarcastic.
This coming from the king of sarcasm.
He's a smiley face.
You can't use other people's stuff. No, I'm not owning your beer. You hold my margarita.
No.
But of course, as always, everybody, we want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you guys so much for participating and chatting along with us. I hope that you enjoyed the content today. Don't forget to follow Fuel over on his Twitch channel, Fuel the Hatred, along with his TikTok and his Twitter and Twitch, TikTok, yes, and his YouTube. And remember, his Twitter is Fuel Hatred. Hi, Daisy. And of course, if you need more AGP, don't forget we're right here on Twitch. We're over on YouTube, and we're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. Go find some more stuff from us. We greatly appreciate it. And on that note, we'll see you all on the next one. Say bye, Fuel.
Why would I say bye to myself?
Oh my God, I hate you.